I actually think we could start addressing the Facebook questions, comments things, because myself, I'm wondering about the Crone also. I'm still in the mother zone. Specifically, croning ceremony, I have no idea what that entails, never been to one. So if we could start there, yeah.
I have some thoughts, but Level, why don't you go first? As Crone.
As Crone.
Yeah.
I'm Crone. When I started out in the closet, solitary. And when I came out, novices, people that wanted to get into it started coming to me to practice with me. So I ended up being Crone. Just I was the elder. I was Crone. I was already I'm barren. So I've never had children. So I don't have that mother. I'm not the mother. I can nurture, but I'm not the mother.
She can nurture.
She can.
So I feel more in the Crone level of my life than I have for a long time. Because I was the elder, and because I was the Crone, and I was the teacher, I never had anybody within my realm of spiritual covenanting, doing, I never had my own croning. Everybody's been young, or quite a bit younger than me, weren't anywhere near Crone. So I've never done a croning. I've never been croned. I just am Crone.
You've just always been that
Yeah,
gal.
I'm just, yeah. And now I'm actually working out of Crone into kind of like a sage area. So, not age-wise, just thought process-wise.
Well, so my story is I'm kind of between Crone and a mother. I'm in my 50s. I no longer have a monthly cycle, but I do have a daughter who's only 9 years old. She'll be 10 in October. But so I kind of straddle the mother lifestyle and the Crone lifestyle. And it can be really interesting in that in-between stage. As far as cronings go, croning ceremonies, I've been to 2 of them. And the one that stands out most vividly, and maybe we can think about this if we ever host a croning ceremony for someone. Yeah. Hint, hint.
Right? Big hint.
Hint, hint.
I was going to say, somebody suggested that I have one. But I'm like,
I'm
yeah,
voting for it.
again, I'm the eldest, and who?
I'm voting for it.
Well, so the ritual that I observed that stuck out in my mind, all of the coveners lined up on 2 sides facing inward, so they made a channel, an aisle way, right? And as the person that was being croned walked through, she would step forward and stop, and the people on either side would recite her attributes of why she was such a good crone, or like what made her crone. And each person had a different take on it.
Right.
You know, somebody might say, well, you're kind-hearted and knowledgeable, or, you're always where you say you're supposed to be, you're reliable. So it was really nice. And she just stepped forward, and after about 15 of those, at the end...
that would be a nice gauntlet.
Yeah, the gauntlet, that's the word. I couldn't think of the word. So, that would be really nice. But at the end, she received crown of flowers, which I think is fairly typical of a croning, and then we partied, because that's what we do. We do that really well in the pagan world.
See, I would think
Not party
not a
this
crown
way.
of flowers, but a crown of
Eating food.
fall leaves.
something else old.
That's, but that would be my process,
Right,
but I
right.
don't know, I've never had one.
I already know what I would say.
What?
When you come by through the gauntlet and stop, I'd say, you are very wise and old.
You say that to me, you would too, and I would die laughing.
You best say something really complimentary.
I would say,
Fragile.
I would say, you are a beautiful princess.
Oh, thank you.
Cronella.
Perfect. I love it. That's perfect. So here's to that. So, but it is a really interesting balance to find yourself. You know, I'll never forget my ex-husband's grandmother, who, bless her heart, if she was alive right now, she'd be well into her hundreds, but Clara.
Okay.
Clara Bell, when she was probably in her early 80s, she and I were sitting around. We used to love to look through old photo albums. And she was showing me photos of herself when she was a younger woman. And she said, you know what the worst part about getting older is? And I said, well, no, Grandma, why don't you tell me? And she said, because on the inside you still feel like you're 20. On the inside you still want to go do all those things that you did in your 20s.
Yeah.
But your body won't cooperate anymore. And society would look at you funny if you started, you know.
She
But
needs to act her age.
yeah, that's right. But
Yeah.
so there is that level of expectation for a woman that's entering Crone and is Crone. And it's kind of sad. I just watched something
Yeah.
on Facebook or maybe YouTube about this woman who's 83 years old, and she just rocks it. She's got her hair like shaved, and she dresses to the nines, and she wears heels, and she just, you know, and I'm thinking that's the way to go. Not really. I don't wear heels either, but I'm just saying, if I could be cool
Yeah.
like that in my old age, I would do
And
it.
I just watched a thing on Facebook a few days back. The woman was 63, I think, and weightlifting and jogging and
I know, but we're
running,
getting awfully close.
and like she was on it, working out daily, doing stuff, constantly doing stuff.
There we go, level. We gotta
Yeah.
get to the gym.
Well, no,
No.
Jim's
Too late for that now.
Don't.
I'm into the easy ride.
Don't set a precedence at the gym for me, please.
We'll do
follow
broom lifting.
now.
Broom
That I
lifting.
can do.
And see, this takes a level of
It
physical
does.
expertise, right? It's funny.
So my next question is,
You know, to cast a circle.
Hold on, honey.
I was actually just getting ready to ask. The ceremony part sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a quick little description of what exactly is Crone?
Okay.
When does that happen? Is there a general idea?
I think that Crone, and maybe Level would answer this better, but I feel sort of stuck in the middle of those two spots right now.
Right.
I think for each woman, it's a season of her life that's defined. There was a young girl that I was working with. Like you, novices have come to me as well about questions and such. And this young woman said, I don't plan on having children,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm no longer a maiden. And so where do I fit? And you know, she's still in the mother zone. She's a young woman of childbearing age, and it is difficult because there are those anomalies that, you know, we don't fit into these perfect little categories.
Right.
And so, for Crone, for me, I feel like it has to do with the ending of my cycle. And entering that new phase of life where now I'm not worried about bleeding anymore, but now I'm worried about peeing my pants. Sorry,
That's where I'm going.
That's a
One
reality.
doesn't go without the other coming on.
That's a reality. You trade in one pad for another kind of pad.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
Your
true.
yoni's leaking no matter.
Yeah. something is coming out.
Great.
It's true.
Can't wait.
It could be the hairs on your chin.
No,
Those
I
are
have
fun.
those now.
Those are fun.
I keep those instead of a wart on my nose, you know.
I'm not keeping my chin hairs.
No.
I had a
Yeah, I don't keep mine actually.
family relative that would get dressed up all to the nines to go to church, but she would never pluck a single curly 3-inch long hair on her chin. And as a child, I looked at that and thought, for me, I can't do that. If I had the power to have them gone, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
I have the power, so they're gone.
I don't see one.
I know. I take care of it.
All gone. Don't look at my chin. Don't look at mine.
I'm pretty sure I'm good,
I'm
but
having
I
a
won't guarantee it.
I'm having a problem. It's like all of a sudden one hair will grow and then I'll like pluck it and then the next day it's back. It used to not be that quick. It used to be like a month. Now these suckers are turning around in no time at all. It's
Mine went from dark to white, so
oh,
yeah.
mine's still non-visible unless you're me.
So Crone,
Yeah.
yeah, Crone. All
So-
those physical changes start happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the person that always was come to for advice
Right.
and for that kind of help.
You still are.
So my role, even well, I will be a high priestess until the day I die. It's just kind of like alcoholism. What you are, you always are. But there's a difference between high priestess responsibility within the coven and Crone's responsibility
Mm-hmm.
within
Yeah.
the coven. I have done all those responsible high priestess responsibilities with the planning and the teaching and all of that. And I'm not kind of. I am ready for somebody to take over the physical manifestation of the high priestess duties, so I can be her advisor
As Crone.
as Crone
Yeah.
to help her high priestess. So that's where I'm wanting to. I mean,
I appreciate your help too.
You're welcome.
Yours too.
And I am greatly going to appreciate both you guys' help when I start growing weird hairs and peeing myself.
You will. You will.
I can see her the first night she's going to come to us and go, "You're not
Yeah.
going to believe what happened.
I peed
I
myself.
peed myself."
And a hair popped out.
No, I know you'd believe it.
The hard part for me was, and the hard part is difficult, or not the accurate description of what it is, so let me stop and think about how I would phrase it first. It's a matter of stepping into a different set of shoes. Where before, when I would go out in public, I would be received by people in a certain fashion, based on, and I'm not even saying this right, so forgive me. What I'm trying to say, if you guys could help me, is the whole physical change of being a crone. Not just peeing yourself and not bleeding anymore, but like the aging process, the when you go out in public where you might have been flirted with and treated like a woman before, it's a different kind of treatment now. I still will get flirted with at times. Not that that's important to me, but it is a nice reminder that you're nice to look at and beautiful. But it
Yeah.
changes as you get older. You start getting treated like you don't need that anymore. Like you don't need it anymore. You're past it, and you've got it all going on. You don't need to.
When you start getting called ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, see, that's a Southern respect thing. I have no problems when anybody calls me ma'am. I've had, 20 years ago, I had children run up to me and grab my arms because they can't believe grandma, and grandma is what they would call me. Grandma, how pretty.
Really?
And these are stranger kids. Yes. We were at a lake, and these people came to camp at, we were getting ready for Beltane. We were having Beltane at the lake. And this little boy ran over to me and grabbed my arm and ran his hands up and down telling me, Grandma, pretty, pretty.
Right on.
And I was like, oh, wow.
You're a nice
I
kid.
always thought of myself as Crone.
Right.
But even 20 years ago, that's not when this happened.
Right.
But 20 years ago, that would happen. I've always been perceived older than I am. My skin is aged older than my age. But that's genetics. I know it's coming. So, she had made a comment today that I was taking longer with my makeup, and I'm like, I'm having to fill in crepey skin so I'm not striped all across everything. All those changes that I see in my face. I look at my hands now.
You're not really prepared for.
No,
You're not really.
you're not. I look at my hands now and I see my Crone hands coming. And so it is those changes.
Age
I
spots.
gotta check
Yes.
mine. I have age spots already.
Oh.
They've been there a while though.
No,
I
Let me
know
see.
it's not
the
like
same.
a random
That is
thing.
not an age spot. That is an age spot.
but
See this?
Crone, I never went through the mother stage, so I never had, I went from maiden
Right.
to Crone. It was like I never
Do
had
you-
that mother phase.
Do you feel
So-
like you missed something? I'm not talking about not having a child, because there are plenty of women and men who choose not to have
Yeah.
children.
No, because I have helped enough friends raise their kids in and around my home, their
Mhm.
home.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had child rearing going on,
Mm-hmm.
but the responsibility and that heart, I pushed a human out of my body thing. No, I'm lazy and I'm selfish and I'm self-centered, and having a child.
princess.
And having a child would be a job to me. It would not be a joyful thing. I would love the kid and I would do everything, but it would be a job. Did I want to know what it would be like to get pregnant and to carry a child? I think every woman wants to know what that is, because innately that's how what our bodies are built for.
I agree.
So, yes, I would have liked to have known that, but when they actually handed me the baby, I would have been one of those people that went, well, that was really cool.
Here, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Here, it's for you.
Great.
And there are people out there that would gladly take that baby.
Yeah, no.
But I'm
yeah.
just not, I'm not one of those women that's set up for that.
She's auntie level at the Covenstead for the children, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And half the
sometimes I'm
adults.
their bane.
And
but
most
yeah.
of the adults.
Yeah.
She's our level.
Yeah.
She keeps things balanced for us.
I really appreciate you guys' input on the Crone thing. Hopefully that helped clear a few things up,
Well,
answer questions for people.
actually, I would like to know what those that are in between feel like. I was never an in-between either.
True.
So I don't know at what point in your mother do you feel the draw of the Crone. I don't know. But there's a ton of women out there. This was definitely one of the things that was mentioned, a comment question on our Facebook.
Okay.
No, it was on Witches, Whiskey and Weed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
they wanted to hear more about the mother Crone because she said that she's middle-aged raising a young child. I don't know where that pull is. It was kind of like, well, you're no longer a maiden, you must be a Crone because there's no mother involved here.
Right.
So,
I feel, as one of those mother Crones. The best way I can describe it, Level, is that at the end of a long day, when I was a younger woman and I had children, because I do have children that are in their 20s now, and then Grim and I have a little girl who's 9 and a half, going to be 10. But the children that are in their 20s, when they were younger, I was younger, of course, and I would go to work, and I would come home, and I would cook dinner, and I would do all those mom things. We would go to play practice or, choir rehearsal or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I had all kinds of stamina for that. I know you're in that right now. You're running everybody all over the place.
Everything except the stamina.
There you go. Well, I faked it really, really well.
That's all you can do.
But now I find myself, like we were talking during last week's vlog, that during the Divine Masculine, how the sage is entering the winter of his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last part of the journey, and there's a lot of I guess requiring to go inward and kind of look inward and seeing how you can help outward. But that requires a lot of introspection. And so I find myself now as an older woman, I come home from work, and instead of wanting to go to play practice and do all, I feel like I'm finding myself wanting to be more in my head and thinking and sorting and learning, because I'm constantly learning and sharing. And so I do that with my daughter too, but it's just a different, it's a challenge to me, because it isn't just the perky 20, 30-year-old person that I used to be. It's like, it takes a little more, and my mind is focused on the winter of my life. And and my daughter is still very much just a young little girl, so she needs me to kind of step it up. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge. So let's smoke some weed.
Does that kind of cover it for?
I hope so. If you need more information, or have any questions about the Mother Crone,
Don't
please
ask
let us
me.
know.
Yeah,
Please let us
ask
know
her.
what those are, and we can come back. And
Yeah.
because it's a very expansive subject, it can be
Obviously,
a very
yeah.
expansive
Yeah.
subject. So,
And touchy.
you know,
subject.
let us know where you want to go with the conversation.
I know for me that cleared up a few points that I wasn't clear on.
Really?
Yes, it
Like what?
did. Like
I'm curious, aren't you?
describing the draw when you want to sit and be introspective. That to me equates to that's that pull towards Crone,
Mm-hmm.
while you still are getting up to deal with mothering, but there's that draw.
Do you feel that already?
On occasion, but not constantly yet. So I know I'm pushing that direction, but not totally a full-on draw happening yet. So that's one of the things that did get clarified for me, is that there's that point
Mm-hmm.
where it starts happening. So
Last year, no, I'm sorry, 2018, Witches Ball, 2018. 17. Sorry, guys.
somewhere
Witches
back
Ball, 2017. We had a midnight margaritas soiree the night before the Witches Ball. We were all there. And I don't know why it was on my mind that night, but I spoke to several older witches who are Crone.
I was one of them.
She was one of them. And I sat level down and I said, how do you know if you're a Crone? Like, how do you know? And you were the one that told me. It's like just a knowing when you get to a certain space. Like, I can tell that my entering Crone, I'm already there, but I've got one foot over here, like in the mother world, and so I can feel myself pulling this way, and it's actually almost it's a real strong energy pull. It's
Okay.
weird. It's weird. You will notice.
Oh, it's
You,
a knowing.
one day you'll find yourself
Sounds
saying,
like it's a
I'm ready
knowing.
I'm ready to be
Yes,
Crone."
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Right.
it
It's,
is-
it's an acceptance within yourself.
Right.
It's like I said, I went from maiden to I'm not gonna be mother.
right.
So, allowed myself to consider myself Crone. I know a lot of people think that that's way too early, but I was doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a matter of time. I
It's
was
up
doing
to you anyway.
right. I was
Yeah.
doing the work. I fought High Priestess until I got waylaid by High Priest telling me I was doing the work. Take your title, but it's not. And I even hate the word that it's called a title, but it's a level. I can say that it's a level.
It is a level.
See?
But so there was no pull. It was just kind of like, for me, it's like,
Yeah.
this is what you were, but this is what you are. And so I always tease about my karmic fortunate,
Yeah.
and I got to skip something. And go to the next one. I got to skip
It's
line.
like Candyland.
I know.
You landed on that little rainbow slide, and you got to move on
I'm
over.
fortunate. Yeah.
She
Speaking
cheated
of mother,
on the test.
yes, she did. You cheated on the Candyland test. Jeez.
So
that's-
I've skipped a lot of levels in my life, and I think I'm doing fine.
So if anyone else does want to hear more or have more specific questions or anything else,
Don't ask.
please
Don't ask.
ask.
You could do that on Facebook, Purple Door. You can do that on Facebook, The Grimoire of Gussie Grey Witch.
Yep.
And you can do that on Facebook, which is Whiskey and Weed. And you can also do it on Instagram. And of course YouTube, which is Whiskey and Weed on YouTube. You can leave comments in any of those places. We will definitely get them, and we will, as we did tonight.
Or in all
Get
of
back
those
to you.
places.
Please
Throw it at 'em.
love, like, comment, share, subscribe. The more people that we get, the more we will be able to do these things. And if you enjoy it, like we enjoy putting them on, we would really appreciate the support in that manner.
I'm feeling the love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're amazed.
Except from me.
Well,
We're so appreciative that we have the subscribers and viewers that we do, because it was kind of, it's a wonderful thing, you know. It makes me feel good that people are watching.